Sending emergency. Sending emergency. My mom is having a fight. Please. Okay, we're going to be done. Lisa, what's going on? Mommy. How's it hurting her?
Globally, a third of the world's women are victims of domestic violence at some point in their lifetime. So the statistics suggest that it is more females than males, but it's super duper important to recognize that males too are victims, and that probably when males are victimized, they are less likely to report it. They're less likely to go seek help at the traditional agencies. So we know we underestimate how much of that is happening. We also know it happens in heterosexual and homosexual relationships, and so it's just really important to be like, wow, okay, so the statistics tell us it's overwhelmingly female, but let's take them with a grain of salt and recognize that it really can be anyone, and not put those blinders on to think this is just exclusively like a women's issue. But it is huge numbers. I mean, thinking of 1/3 of the world's women, 1 billion women, I mean, it's ridiculous, the frequency with which domestic violence happens. And in the United States, they say 1/4 of the world's women. Her initiative was she was in a abusive dating relationship when she was in high school, and had long then, after she got out of it, been interested in advocacy for victims. As an adult, she was taking classes at Florida International and working at Safe Space at the foundation, which helps fund the organization, which is a shelter here in Miami. She heard about the case of Gladys Ricart. Gladys was murdered on September 26, 1999 in New Jersey, and she was murdered on her wedding day, just minutes before she was supposed to marry this man she'd fallen in love with. It was her abusive ex-boyfriend who was the perpetrator. Josie didn't know Gladys, not even in the same state, but they did share the fact that both are Dominican immigrants, and obviously Josie's interest in this issue of domestic violence gave her what she says is just sort of a vision. She's like, I envisioned myself walking in my gown as a way to correct so many misconceptions that people have about dating and domestic violence. And so she said, out of the blue, I contacted the Ricart family, and I told them I had no interest in making money. This was not my purpose, but that I believed that there are still a lot of myths, misconceptions, and misunderstandings, and that I felt like I could maybe help correct them. So she originally walked in her own bridal gown from where the murder took place in New Jersey down here to Miami. It took her several months. She stayed at women's shelters along the way, and did it as a way to get people asking questions. When you're walking in a street in a bridal gown, they tend to ask what you're doing, and it gives you a vehicle to talk about it. She did get some internship credit at FIU, where she was studying criminal justice, and so that allowed her to do it. But she did have to quit her job to do it and leave her husband with their 2 little girls. And he was a great supporter and said, if that's your vision, you have to do it. So she's pretty cool, pretty amazing person.
So the Brights Walk is an event that we do every year, and what we try to do is educate the youth, make sure that we can catch them while they're trying to create their first healthy relationships or their first relationships, and try to educate them on what a real healthy relationship is, what the rights are within a relationship, so that they can realize that they do have rights, that there is a balanced way of loving somebody, that you don't have to be possessive, that you don't have to be jealous, that you can love someone without overpowering them, without hitting them or anything like that, in order to get rid of the violence that we're having.
What's the matter?